We all want to believe the world is fair, that people mean what they say, and that loyalty earns loyalty. It's what we hope for when we extend our trust, when we believe in others. But if you're truly listening, you've already abandoned these illusions. The hard truth is this: trust is not a virtue, it's a weakness disguised as morality, a trap built by society to keep you vulnerable. Think about it. We've been taught to trust others, to give people the benefit of the doubt, to offer our hands before counting our fingers. But that very act of trust is why so many people, so many leaders have fallen. Trust is bait, a lie dressed up as a virtue, and it only exists to lure you in before the slaughter. It's the calm before the storm, the quiet moment before the knife is thrust in. You've been trained to think that trust is sacred, but it's not. It's a currency that, when given too soon, will cost you dearly. Look back through history. Kingdoms didn't fall because of external threats. They fell because of internal betrayal. It wasn't the enemies outside, but the allies inside who caused their downfall. Betrayal wears the face of a friend, a trusted ally, a person you never expected. Take Caesar, take any ruler, and they'll tell you the same story. Betrayal always comes from someone trusted, someone close. The powerful don't need trust, they need calculation. They observe, they test, they verify. They don't blindly believe. They build walls, not bridges. They sharpen their minds, not their emotions. When you trust too easily, you hand over the keys to your kingdom. You put yourself at risk because people don't act out of kindness, they act out of need, fear, or gain. They wear loyalty as a mask until it no longer serves them, and that's when they strike. So, what should you do? How should you live? Not in fear, but in clarity. Don't build your life on trust, build it on strategy. Observe people. Watch what they do, not what they say. Understand their motives, not just their intentions. People reveal themselves if you pay attention long enough, in their actions, in their patterns, in their slips. That's where true power lies, not in blind trust, but in calculated understanding. Stop hoping that people are inherently good, the noble ones, the ones who trust without question. They're the ones who suffer. They're lazy, emotionally lazy. They choose safety over discernment. And manipulators know that. They prey on your trust. They will mirror your values. They will cry on cue. They will sell you sincerity like it's gold. And when you believe it, they will drain you dry. You have to stop thinking that trust makes you human. What makes you truly human is your mind, the ability to assess, adapt, and question. Trust dulls that. It clouds your judgment. And predictability is a weakness. It makes you controllable. When you're predictable, your enemies know when to strike, your allies know when to turn, and even your lovers know when to lie. The alternative? Live without trust, not in paranoia, but in power. Be polite, but watchful. Be charming, but detached. Be kind, but not blind. Don't trust words. Test character. Don't trust intentions. Evaluate behavior. Don't trust love. Watch for consistency. A fool gives trust first and asks questions later. The wise man does the opposite. Let others call you cold, cynical. They'll call you a wolf, just like they always do, right before it devours them. But you'll know the truth. You will live in truth while they live in illusion. And here's the truth. You owe no one your trust. They must earn it, over and over again. People don't stab you because you're weak. They stab you because you gave them the opportunity. Betrayal doesn't come from the people you fear. It comes from the ones you've trusted the most. It's the friend who asks too much, the partner who manipulates with a kiss, the colleague who steals your ideas after shaking your hand. These aren't anomalies. They're the inevitable result of misplaced trust. And here's the bitter truth. People study you. They observe how much you tolerate, how quickly you forgive, how easily you believe. They craft their manipulations with patience, waiting for you to stop questioning, to stop observing, to trust. And that's when they strike. Do you want to be untouchable? Then stop thinking like prey. Stop believing that everyone has your best interest at heart. Most people are playing a game of survival, status, power, and validation. And in that game, your trust is their shortcut. Understand this: the more they smile, the more you question. The more they flatter, the more you analyze. The closer they get, the tighter your grip on reality should be. Trust is not love. Trust is leverage. When they know you trust them, they control you. They manipulate you with obligation, guilt, and sentiment, and you follow, thinking you're being loyal, but in reality, you're just another pawn in someone else's plan. The lie they sell is this: trust is the foundation of every relationship. The truth is, trust is earned, not given freely. It's a reward after 1,000 tests, not a gift you hand out like candy. Watch how they behave when you say no. See who stays when you have nothing to offer. Pay attention to how they treat others when no one's watching. You'll learn more from their silence than their words. Never assume intentions. Intentions are invisible. Behavior is not. Machiavelli didn't rise by believing what people said. He rose by understanding what people are. Selfish, fearful, hungry for power. Not evil, just predictable. Don't hate them for it. Use it. Power doesn't require rage. It requires precision. You don't need to confront every liar, every manipulator. That wastes your energy. Just cut the strings. Remove access. Go silent. Move smart. Let them talk to a locked door. They'll call you heartless. Let them. You're not here to be loved. You're here to win. Trust is a tool. You decide when and how to use it. Never let it be used against you. Ask yourself this: how many times have you been hurt by someone you trusted? How many lies were wrapped in smiles? How many betrayals came from those closest to you? You already know the answer. So this time, sharpen your mind, not your heart. Step back from the game, observe it, study it, and play it better than them all. Because in the end, the one who survives isn't the one who trusted the most. It's the one who saw the knife before it touched the skin. Stop trusting. Stop hoping. Stop imagining loyalty where there is only convenience. In this world, every act of blind trust is an open invitation to betrayal. You think your loyalty will earn you love? It won't. It earns you leverage against yourself. Trust is for those who wish to be controlled. You've been told that trust builds relationships and creates peace. But relationships built on trust alone are the easiest to manipulate. Peace built on trust is fragile. It shatters the moment someone chooses themselves over you. They always will, because man is selfish by nature. He loves himself more than he will ever love you. And when your trust becomes predictable, when your forgiveness becomes routine, when your tolerance becomes expected, your power disappears. You've made yourself harmless. And that's the death of influence. So, you think you're kind? You're patient? You're generous? No. You're exploitable. You're a walking opportunity for the cunning, a weakling dressed as a saint. And the world doesn't respect saints. It buries them. The wise don't trust, they test. They don't open up, they observe. They don't react, they calculate. Trust is not given, it's weaponized. And those who survive, those who lead, know this truth. Control is the only safety in a world of shifting loyalty. Ask yourself again, how many times have you trusted someone only to be deceived? How many secrets have you shared that came back to haunt you? How many warnings did you ignore because your heart overruled your logic? Fools call it love. Masters call it a mistake. You want to stop being weak? Then stop trusting. You want to stop being hurt? Then stop depending. You want to be feared, respected, untouchable? Then eliminate the habit that has destroyed kings and corrupted empires. Naive trust. A lion does not ask the jackal for loyalty, he enforces distance. A general does not trust his enemy not to strike, he prepares for betrayal. Trust is not peace. Trust is permission. You grant someone permission to deceive you the moment you say, "I trust you." So don't. Not completely, not blindly, not ever. There is strength in silence. There is safety in privacy. The less people know about you, the less control they have over you. The less you expect from others, the less they can use your expectations against you. People manipulate not because they're evil, but because they can. You gave them the keys, they just walked in. Here's the cold truth. People are only as loyal as their options. And the moment your value fades or their priorities change or someone offers them more, they will forget you. Not because they're monsters, but because they're human. And humanity runs on self-interest, not sentiment. So, what do? You start watching, you start listening, you stop confessing, you stop trusting. Learn the art of delayed trust. Let people prove themselves, not with words, not with tears, not with promises, but with consistent, unquestionable loyalty over time. Even then, keep a sword behind your back, always. Because the most dangerous betrayal comes from the one you trusted the most. Understand this. You can love, you can care, but you must always remain sovereign. Never place your sanity in another's hands. Never hand someone the map to your weaknesses. Never believe anyone is above betrayal. Not lovers, not friends, not family. Only those who trust too much get destroyed too deeply. The world is not your friend. It is not your therapist. It is not your confessional. It is your battlefield. And trust is surrender on the battlefield. So hold your secrets, hold your silence, hold your power, because when no one can figure you out, no one can use you. Stop trusting, start ruling. Be like the shadow, seen but unreadable. Be like the storm, silent until it strikes. And when the world tries to guess your next move, smile, because they never will. They make you trust them, not because they deserve it, but because it makes you easier to manage. This is not speculation, this is strategy. The ones who control society, business, and power structures understand a basic truth. The easiest way to dominate someone is to get inside their mind, and trust is the access code. Once they earn your trust, they no longer have to force you. You'll comply willingly, you'll reveal your weaknesses, you'll second-guess your instincts. That's the genius of it. They don't need chains. They use your loyalty to bind you. You trust your boss, so you tolerate disrespect. You trust your partner, so you ignore red flags. You trust your friend, so you reveal secrets that later become ammunition. They study you while you sleep. They plan while you relax. They build leverage while you bleed your vulnerabilities into their hands. And when the time comes, they don't attack you. They pull the strings you handed them, like a puppet. This is not paranoia. This is protection. Because those who rise to power do not wear the smile of honesty. They wear the mask of trustworthiness. They know that trust, once given, disables your defenses. It lowers your guard. And that's when they strike. You want to win in this world? Then stop trusting people because they seem good. Judge them by what they protect, not what they promise. Judge them by how they act when no eyes are on them. Judge them by how they treat those they don't need. But above all, never trust someone more than you trust yourself. Doubt is your armor. Doubt forces you to observe, to calculate. It is not weakness, it is foresight. And in a world run by deception, foresight is survival. The lion does not trust the savannah. He moves with caution. The ruler does not trust the mob. He controls their hunger. The conqueror does not trust peace. He prepares for betrayal. Because the moment you assume good intentions, you stop preparing for bad outcomes. Let others call it cynicism, let them mock your suspicion, but understand this. Most of the powerful are not naive, they're ruthless. They smile while they scheme, they flatter while they plan, and the moment they sense you're disarmed by trust, they advance. Here's how the manipulation works. They make you feel seen, heard, special. They mirror your values, echo your beliefs, applaud your dreams. It feels real, but it's scripted. They don't trust you. They targeted you. And when they've gathered enough information, your fears, your needs, your breaking points, they don't leave. No, they tighten their hold. They offer help, guidance, support, but always with a cost. You start doubting yourself and relying on them. That's how kings are overthrown, not through war, but through misplaced trust in the wrong hands. Now, listen carefully. Trust should never be your default. Suspicion is not hatred, it's self-preservation. Trust after testing, trust with boundaries, trust with contingency plans. Keep aces in your sleeve, keep secrets in your silence, because if you give everything away to someone just because you feel a connection, you're not being loving, you're being foolish. Even the closest allies must be watched. Even the most loyal friends must be tested. Even family must be scrutinized. Because betrayal wears familiar faces. You must learn to love with eyes open. Lead with caution. Speak with restraint. Let your instincts be louder than their words. Let your gut interrupt your heart. Let your mind rule your decisions. Because every empire that fell, every leader that was backstabbed, every legend that was ruined, they all had one thing in common. They trusted someone who smiled with a knife behind their back. Don't be the next. You're not heartless for doubting people. You're smart. Because in the end, it's not the sword that kills the king. It's the trusted hand that holds it. Let's end this with clarity, not comfort. If you still believe that trust is a virtue, you've learned nothing. Trust is not a virtue, it is a gamble. It is a strategic risk, not an act of love. And those who rise to power treat it exactly as such. The powerful don't trust, they test, they pressure. They push people to reveal who they are, not who they pretend to be. So, now, I tell you what no one else will. If you want to become unmanipulable, unreadable, untouchable, you must kill the part of you that craves to trust. The hunger to trust is weakness. It's desperation in disguise. It screams, "Please don't hurt me," and predators hear it like wolves hear the limp of a dying animal. Here's what to do instead. Become cold, not cruel, cold, emotionally insulated, discreet, mysterious, a fortress with no open gates. Because trust is an open gate, and if your gates are always open, even peasants will ransack your kingdom. You don't need to announce your mistrust. You just need to carry yourself like a man who sees everything and says nothing. Silence is your shield. Ambiguity is your sword. Distance is your defense. Learn to smile without revealing agreement. Nod without yielding authority. Compliment without lowering your guard. This isn't paranoia, it's dominance. While others reveal their loyalties, keep yours hidden. While others beg for connection, remain selective. While others rush to belong, you stand apart. Because the moment they can't read you, they fear you. And fear is better than trust. Fear keeps people in line. Trust gives them ideas. Trust makes them believe they can get close enough to challenge you. Fear reminds them they never could. And that is power. St. Villewetzer. Let me teach you something the naive never understand. Never tell people what you're planning. Never tell them what you're feeling. Never tell them what you value most. Why? Because the first thing they'll do when they lose control over you is attack those things. They'll use your own emotions, dreams, and weaknesses against you. Don't give them the ammunition. Let them wonder where your mind is. Let them doubt your next move. Let them fear the consequences of betrayal. This is how kings survive. This is how empires are built, not by hugging enemies, but by outsmarting them. Now listen to this truth. You will never be betrayed by someone you refuse to trust. Let that sink in. Every knife in your back was once held by someone you let in. So let no one in completely. Let no one into your plans, your mind, or your soul without resistance. Those who demand your trust don't deserve it. Those who earn it won't ask for it. Your power begins where your need to trust ends. You've heard the saying, trust is earned, not given, but you may not fully grasp the weight of that statement. Trust is not something you hand out like a gift, a token of goodwill, or a test of loyalty. It is something that is earned through consistent behavior, reliable actions, and proven commitment over time. It is something that should be regarded as a treasure, one that cannot be given away lightly, nor surrendered on a whim. The truth is, many people will try to manipulate your generosity when it comes to trust. They'll work tirelessly to make you believe in them, make you feel like they're worthy of your confidence, and use that trust against you the moment they see an opportunity. What does this mean in practical terms? It means you need to develop the skill of assessing people and situations with a critical, discerning eye. It means you have to stop judging people based on their words, their promises, or the charm they use to win you over. Instead, you need to watch what they do, look at their actions, and the way they carry themselves when there is no one around to see them. That's when people reveal their true selves. People act differently when they think no one is watching, and that is where the clues lie. It's there that you learn whether someone's trustworthiness is built on solid ground or if it's built on sand, just waiting to crumble. It's tempting, especially in a world that glorifies friendship, loyalty, and unity, to think that people are good at their core, that when someone offers you their loyalty, it's something you can rely on, something you can believe in. But the reality is different. Trust isn't the foundation of everything. It's the trap that lures the unwary into the jaws of manipulation. Relationships built on trust alone are fragile, easily shaken, and easily destroyed. Relationships that are grounded in power dynamics, in mutual understanding, in calculated moves, those relationships last longer because both parties understand the risks and the stakes involved. Imagine the most loyal person in your life. Have you ever stopped to consider how much power you've handed them? How much access to your weaknesses? How many of your secrets are in their hands? How many of your emotional triggers do they know and have at their disposal? Loyalty, when given without discernment, is a dangerous thing. It's the very thing that can destroy you, especially if you place your faith in someone who hasn't earned it. Loyalty is something that should be earned and deserved, just like trust. And just because someone seems to be loyal today, doesn't mean they will be loyal tomorrow. Now think about this. The moment you allow someone to control your trust, you also allow them to control your fate. They can make you act according to their needs, and in doing so, they can direct the course of your life in ways you may not even see coming. Your desires, your needs, your ambitions, all of them can become their tools, their weapons to manipulate you. But power of trust comes with a price, and that price is a vulnerability you can never afford. But many people, especially those who are desperate to feel loved or to be needed, will pay that price without even realizing it. They will give their trust without any form of guarantee or protection, and that's where they fall into the trap. It's easier to let yourself be vulnerable, to hope for the best and believe that people mean what they say, than it is to take the cold, hard step of discerning where trust truly belongs. People who blindly trust live in a fantasy world, a world where the rules of the game are made up as they go along. And in this world, there are no winners, only those who survive longer than others. The world we live in isn't as kind as it appears. Beneath the veneer of civility lies a constant, unseen battle for power, for control, for dominance. People will hurt you, not because they hate you, but because they see you as a tool for their own success. When they trust you, when they get close to you, it's not because they want to protect you, it's because they want to control you. You become a piece on their chessboard, a pawn in their game of life, and the moment they feel like they've outgrown their need for you, or that they can gain more by betraying you, they will do so without hesitation. The moment you make yourself predictable, you make yourself exploitable. The moment you make yourself vulnerable, you hand over control. Ask yourself this: how often have you trusted someone because of the way they spoke? How many times have you been convinced by a smile, a kind word, or a sympathetic gesture, only to have that person turn on you when you least expected it? How often have you believed that someone's loyalty was genuine, only to find that it was based on their own self-interest? The world is full of wolves disguised as sheep, and it's your responsibility to see through the disguise. You cannot afford to be fooled by appearances or emotions. You must train your mind to look deeper, to question everything, to doubt even the most genuine-seeming promises. In a world where manipulation and deceit are rampant, power comes from knowing the truth about those around you. The truth is not found in words or intentions, but in actions. The truth is found in patterns. The things people do over time, not the things they say in the heat of the moment. This is why you must stop trusting words. Words are easy to manipulate. Actions, on the other hand, are much harder to fake, and yet most people, when they trust others, do so based on words, based on promises that were made in a moment of weakness or passion, but not backed up by actions over time. Trust should never be freely given, but earned through consistent behavior, proven reliability, and time-tested commitment. Anything less is an invitation to betrayal. Power, true power, comes from understanding human nature, not from believing in the good intentions of others. Understanding that people act out of self-interest, out of fear, out of hunger for validation, for control, for status. That's the starting point for real power. It's not about being cynical or heartless. It's about seeing the world for what it is, not for what you wish it to be. It's about recognizing that everyone is trying to achieve something, whether it's wealth, influence, respect, or something else entirely. When you understand that, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop being prey. You stop being someone who can be taken advantage of. Now, think about your own life. How many times have you trusted people who didn't deserve it? How many times have you handed over your loyalty, your time, your energy to someone who later turned their back on you? How many moments of betrayal have you experienced, all because you believed in the good in people, in the words they spoke, or in the promises they made? Those moments are the price of trust, though the cost of being naive. And yet, it's not all doom and gloom. Power doesn't require trust, but it requires understanding. It requires clarity. It requires seeing things for what they are, not for what you want them to be. People may try to manipulate you, but if you understand their motivations, if you understand their patterns, you can outsmart them. You can control the game instead of being controlled by it. You want to be untouchable? You want to be the one who is never betrayed, who is never exploited, who is never manipulated? Then stop trusting blindly. Stop handing over your loyalty without testing it first. Stop allowing others to have easy access to your heart, to your mind, to your vulnerabilities. You cannot afford to be predictable, to be transparent, to be easy to understand. You must remain unreadable. A mystery that others cannot crack, no matter how hard they try. The more you reveal yourself, the more others will use that information against you. They will use your desires, your fears, your needs, your insecurities to control you. They will use your trust against you. So, don't let them. Remain aloof, remain distant, remain in control. Let them wonder about you. Let them doubt your next move. Let them fear you because they can't predict you. That is the power you need to survive in this world. But even then, don't make the mistake of thinking that you are invulnerable. Even the strongest fortress can be breached if you're not careful. The key to survival is not just about staying untouchable. It's about knowing when to engage, when to trust, and when to pull back. You must always be 2 steps ahead, always calculating, always watching. The game never stops. You never get a break. But if you play it right, you'll be the one who survives. You'll be the one who wins. Because when others are busy trusting blindly, you'll be the one who sees through the illusion. And when the knife comes, you'll be ready to dodge it. So, what will you do? Will you continue to trust blindly, believing in the best in people, hoping for the best outcome? Or will you learn to see through the deception, to protect yourself from the predators who lurk in every corner? The choice is yours, but remember this: trust is not a gift, it's a tool, it's a weapon. And if you don't use it wisely, it will be used against you. Power comes from understanding the true nature of trust and knowing when not to give it.